and welcome to the Music Lens podcast with me, Alex Allegra.
And Katy Fee. I just hit my chin on the mic.
Today is a very opinion-oriented topic, so if you don't care about our opinions, this may not be the episode for you. But also, if you don't care about our opinions, then you're probably not watching the podcast in the first place.
I'm gonna do another, I feel like, I keep saying another because we're doing a lot of catch-up type episodes, but this one's more, we had the Broadway Adventures, the Munsick one was more just like personal, fun life catch up. This one's more, I guess, industry focused in the sense of like industry news and new music and stuff. So
it's just we're in festival season is starting now. We're in like a lot of big tours are happening at this point in time. So I figured we'd just kind of talk about it all. And so yeah.
Just random accent popping out.
Talk about it all.
Do we want to start with the new music?
Sure.
Okay. Do you have any new music that you are listening to?
My new single comes out this Friday when you're listening to it.
Pre-save.
So, it's the time to know me when, because I know in my heart of hearts that someday this song will make it. It just may not be this Friday, but eventually.
Eventually.
So,
sometimes it's
get
a slow burn.
on the train.
It's a slow burn.
Let's go chugging down the track.
Okay.
I've been really into this new podcast lately, and it's very much my relationship with Braden, and so it just feels very, funny to listen to sometimes. It's called The Box of Oddities.
Okay.
And it's, just weird, tidbitty kind of mysteries of the universe things. It's very fun. And because I needed something to listen to on my way down to Memphis, which is a story we'll get into later. But they're just, a couple who just, likes odd stuff. And, the way that they just banter. I mean, they're a little more lovey than me and Braden. Braden and I give each other a lot of shit. But it's just, funny, little things that they do and how weird they are. And it's the stuff that no one would see, and Braden probably would hate me for saying it, is how weird we are together. Because it's you find your person that you can just be so weird with. Yeah. And that's Braden and I.
Okay. Any music that's out already that you're listening to?
New music I know that is out right now.
I had texted you when I was we were trying to figure out what to do for this episode, and I was well, I have a couple albums and stuff. I don't know if you have any. Okay. Yeah, so
no, I don't have a lot of new music per se. Molly Grace has been releasing a lot of really awesome music lately. Okay. I mean, I think she is somebody. She went to Belmont, and I just kind of found her through the TikTok and Belmont grapevine of old I think she had just graduated when she went on her first tour, or was about to graduate, and they were looking to do street teams in each city, which was a fantastic marketing idea because you established people in the cities that wanted to do hair or makeup or wanted to photograph. So I went and photographed the Nashville show, and I'm pretty sure I've talked about that on here as well.
Yeah.
And it just creates such a fan base already, and then you had to bring at least one other person, so it was just really smart. But I genuinely fell in love with her music at that show after that, and think that she's doing really well now. I think there's definitely a difference from her Belmont days things and her stuff now, and I think she's really found her stride now, and I've really liked everything she's put out lately. And Lindsay L has some new music out, and I always love her.
I must have missed hers.
Yeah.
I don't think I knew that.
Oh. Or she's been teasing
unless
the nightly one was the last one. I think she's actually released.
Now we're searching Lindsay on Spotify. No, the Love Myself EP I think was the last thing I knew that she released from last year.
No,
so
Bad Katy.
There, I guess, is a song that came out.
Yes, she does have some
end of January. Wow, that was a while ago.
And she's teasing some new stuff now too. So she did this whole photo.
It's an algorithm thing sometimes.
She did this whole photo shoot with the snake. Yeah, I have a personal account that I use that I use for artists I don't care about, but the ones that I very close, I know I'm going to see their stuff pop up because I follow a very select few people on there.
Yeah,
because I want to genuinely see them.
Yeah. Make sure it's not Aunt somehow learning how to open the front door.
That was my biggest fear in this house, and I'm so glad. Also, in other news, I am moving. Yeah, so the podcast studio might look different, and we don't know how long into the future it will look different. So,
either next episode or in like 3 episodes or something like that.
It'll be one of the two. But in this house we had a screen door, and Aunt loves to just like look outside it and lay at the screen door.
Glass.
And I was, the glass screen door. And I was like, I guess it's a storm door. Then.
Yeah.
I just always called it
Well,
a screen
I just
door.
feel like people hear screen door and they might be like, how does he not, like, if he wanted to go after something, he could just barrel on through glass? You can't.
No. No, it's glass. It's, I guess, a storm door. I just always called it the same thing. Yeah. It wasn't ever a storm door in my house. I don't know. It's not a northern thing. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways, so, he just likes to lay and look out, and so I always was afraid, though, that one of these days it was just, like, gonna give way and just, like, open itself up, or, like, the latch would just, you know, they just get old sometimes, and they get super, like, barely touch it kind of things, but no, he's been fine. Now he'll have a porch to sit out on, and I'm so excited.
There we go. Little porch.
Little deck area he gets to sleep on anytime he wants. It'll be so nice.
Yeah. So that'll be fun to have a new studio and stuff. So.
And I'm so excited. Once the studio is up and running, we'll definitely do like a studio tour, because I'm going to deck it out to like professional level. Like, you're going to see a big upgrade in this, because it's an actual studio. Like, in my house, it's like there's a basement, and it was already like a built-in nook area.
Okay.
That is just
there we go
for like a studio setup. I think it's supposed to be, it's for whatever you want it to be, but it's like a little studio area, and it like looks like a rented out space in a home. Like, it's so cool. So
that's nice.
I didn't have to build it, and it looks exactly like I would want it to look. So I'm excited.
There we go. Anyways, new music that I had was, I guess I'll start with Maddie Tae, just because you were talking about Molly Grace and Belmont, and Anna Voss actually co-wrote 2 of the songs on this album, so I guess that can be our little connection into this. Not really when you point it out, but it's fine.
That was your own doing.
I know. It's fine. Co-wrote Heart They Didn't Break, which was a single out last year, and like she opened on their tour and all that. And then there's a song on the album called Chasing Babies and Raising Dreams. So that one she wrote with them as well.
I feel like I've just heard that song because they promoted it a bunch on TikTok.
I think they have a music video for it now, too.
Yeah, and with drunk girls in bathrooms. Like, I felt like this album already happened so long ago, because I just feel like I've heard so much off of it. Yeah.
Built up. Yeah.
Which is smart for them, because I think Maddie Tae is one of those ones that, like, I really want them to take off big, but, like, for some reason they're just stuck in this, like, mid-level tier ever since, like, their second album.
Yeah, I feel like they had a first couple good, I don't want to say good songs because I like all their songs, but, like, couple more successful songs since they really hit it big with the first one, which I think you sent me that TikTok of that podcast with the theory about, like, if your first song is big, then you're not actually gonna like rise up to it again, basically.
Yeah.
So wasn't that the kind of the gist of it? Like one hit wonder type.
That kind of what happens when your stuff doesn't like have that slow build, because and that kind of goes with something that I've been kind of trying to figure out how to put into a podcast topic of like one hit wonder kinds of deals, because there is like this sense of they came out of nowhere, but a lot of these people haven't come out of nowhere. Like even Lola Young right now, who is the Messy song, people are like, oh my god, she came out of nowhere. But then if you go back and look at her like discography and like her team and all this stuff, like they made it look like she came out of nowhere. Like they purposefully did that, because a lot of people want to like see that and want to connect with you a lot more with that humble beginning kind of thing, you know. There's other people that like genuinely have like kind of came out of nowhere.
Is one of them. Oliver Anthony, that like what's it called? Oh my god, I can't think of
like I have no clue who this man is.
Oh, he like blew up on TikTok, and he like played the Opry, and he played the same song twice. It's fine. Rich Men North of Richmond.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he does have other songs, but like that's like the big one for him. And he wasn't trying to really do anything. And then I think because it blew up, he's like, all right, like, I guess I'm gonna do this, which is kind of what I've heard Bailey Zimmerman was an accidental thing.
Yeah.
Of just having a video posted with his voice or something.
But then again, Bailey, like, actually has a very steady and solid career.
Yeah. So. Yeah. But just from, like, those are some examples of people who actually came out of nowhere and wasn't working towards it and just kind of had it happen.
That's how Chase, I want to say Chase Rice, but I know it's not Chase Rice because I know who Chase Rice is, but I just did his...
Chase Matthews?
Yes, Chase Matthews. Because his family was all in music, but he didn't want to do it. He was just working construction, and his dad was like, why don't you just do it? Yeah. And then, like, one day decided just to kind of put himself out there.
I think Megan Maroney was similar-ish.
Yeah, she was.
Because Call Her Daddy's podcast, she was talking about it.
Yeah.
It was just kind of seemed like, oh, she... Like, she sang for fun, and so it was like she happened to be someone who sang, and her sorority needed someone to open for... I don't remember who it was, but someone for a party. They got here somehow from Maddie Tae. We'll get back to them. But Bailey Zimmerman and Luke Combs put out a song this week too called Backup Plan, and it's getting back up. That's the only backup plan you need. And I was like, oh, I like that. So
okay.
You said Backup Plan, and I was like, wait a minute, that's also a song that came out.
That's funny.
Okay, so Maddie and Tae. I'm trying to work my way back to where we left off with them. That's right. We were saying, like, they had, like, some big stuff in the beginning and then kind of, like, tapered off. But, I mean, they've been consistently, like, in the duo category for the most part. I feel like until the last few years, maybe. I don't know. Are they on the ACMs?
I don't know.
Anyways, like, I feel like they've still, like, been nominated for a lot of things, even if they weren't the top, just because there's not as many duos. But
well, and that's the other thing too. It's like I didn't want to say that because I don't want to, like, discredit their abilities. They're definitely, but there's just not a lot of competition, which is good. I mean, in a sense, like, that's kind of what you gotta do. But
I know I posted about Ain't Enough. There's a lyric in that song that's like, we need more dinner table, good conversations. Like, we need more girls on the radio stations. And I had, like, heard that. I was like, yes. So I don't know why. I just, like, wasn't expecting them to have, like, that line. And I was like, yes.
Yeah, She Is the Music put out a bunch of stats, graphics today of, like, percentages of women in the music industry and in top leadership positions and all that stuff. And how many of them were women of color even. So it was an interesting read if you want to go check that out.
Also, did I say that it's called Love and Light? That's the album title, Love and Light. It's, I think, their 4th album. And I thought the title track, just the sound of it makes it sound like it'd just be like a sweet little message song. It's like a sassy song. And I was like, ooh, okay, I like this. Not what I was expecting. But I feel like it has, like, a good variety of songs on it and kind of just shows how they're, like, versatile and, like, can have songs that are the chasing babies, raising dreams, like, talking about their kids and their families and stuff, but then they also have the going out and, like, drunk girls in bathrooms and kissing cowboys ones. And I did I saw some CMT Hot 20 interview stuff with it that they're saying, like, we want to have a song for everyone, so they're making sure that they have songs that, like, all their fans can relate to because they're at different areas of their life and they're not all in the same place that they are personally. So kind of having songs for everybody.
I wonder if that's... Well, there's 2 stones to that. Is that, one, I wonder if that is what's holding them back, though, is, like, wanting to have music for everybody. Because I think back to what Kelsey said at her concert and how Rolling Up the Welcome Mat
more personal.
Was such a personal thing, and that's what changed the tide. Because I think it's important to have a big generic kind of, like, stand song for you. Well, okay, let me explain. I think it's important to have a big generic kind of stand song, like, for everyone to sing along when you first get on the scene. But then after that, because they're invested then in your life, then you can bring out that personal, like, things because people care. It's like, we all want to know what Taylor's next song, who's that about, you know? Like, that kind of stuff because we care then about that person. But when you don't even know who that person is and you don't care, you just care about the music, it's a little different. So I think that might be part of it, but also, and I hate to say it because I think it's so stupid, but I think it's also when you go through things like a divorce or when you go through those big things, because I also have been told and have talked to people in the industry about like how you don't need to be heartbroken all the time just to make good music, you know, and like you shouldn't just be that starving artist just to make good music, you know, like because I think Ed Sheeran was talking about that in maybe his Call Her Daddy episode.
I don't remember. I know
and
I
it was
to
like
that one, but
you don't need to just be that starving like tortured artist just to make a good song and good record and have fans and all that stuff. So it's like where they are in their life though right now is very much like, I don't want to say not a lot is going on because I don't know what their personal lives are, but like on the surface level it's very like they just had babies settled down, and they settled down and there's not a whole lot going on in their life that's really like content worthy, which is a very stupid way to look at it. And I'm very well aware of that. I'm just saying in the grand schemes of things, like what are you pulling from? And sometimes I get frustrated with myself.
Sense of Sam Hunt when he like got his girl back or
whatever, and then he's like I don't have anything to write about. And I struggle with that too because I've been in a healthy, happy relationship for the last 5 years, and sometimes it's like I really pushed a lot of like memories out of my mind because I didn't want to go back into those states. So now I'm trying to like retroactively like go back and be very okay, what lessons did I pull from this? How can I actually like write material that's not just like in all that hurt and like but is deep and personal and like has some meaning to it, because I don't want to be just a generic person and artist and all this stuff. So it's like
Kelsey, I feel like still has variety, and it's not like she's only she has still like the friendship songs and the love songs and the breakup songs and stuff, even if she is like happy and in a relationship now and all that. And I know like that was the thing with Carly Pearce's album that we talked about too, was that like it was all like I hate men. Like not really many topics. It was just like one topic throughout.
And I'm not saying that it doesn't. I was just saying like I think when you're just trying to make a song for everybody, it's different than just like writing about your life in different aspects. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but they're like that's what's holding them back.
I feel like they're writing, it's not that they're not like being sincere. I feel like they're thinking of when they were in their early 20s and going out to bars and stuff. So like just kind of writing from a different perspective of like an earlier time in their life, maybe.
I think this is some of their better work, honestly, in the last couple of years. Like, so I think they're hopefully on the up and up again. It was just one of those things that had me thinking here.
Yeah.
Gotta start a discussion.
The other album that came out Friday was Eric Church's album, and
is that why you wear the shirt?
Yeah. I pre-ordered the vinyl and it came Wednesday, and so I got to listen to it before it was like officially out.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, this feels illegal, but I guess I get to listen to it. Like I made sure to just like do a boomerang when I posted about it, because I'm like, I'm not gonna send any like audio. I don't want to leak anything. But it's 8 songs. It's called Evangeline versus the Machine. It's very different, but yet not in a way from like the way it was created is very different, but there are some sonic qualities that make me think of other songs of past albums. Because he had an interview where he was talking about usually with tracking a record, it's like 6 or 7 people in the studio and that's it. There's like, he walked in, there's like 50 people because they had a choir, they had orchestra, they had horns, like, I don't know if it was full band, but at least like a horn section and stuff. Just trying to stay creative and do something different, which, I mean, makes sense when you think about Stagecoach last year and him just trying to do something creative and different. And there's, 8 songs. 3 of them were solo writes. One was an outside cut with Tucker Beathard and Casey Beathard and Monty Criswell. So I liked that Casey and Tucker, like, I guess I didn't realize they write together, father and son, because Casey writes with Eric a lot. Also, I learned that Tucker Beathard is kind of inspiration for Homeboy.
Oh.
Because Eric and Casey wrote that together. And then he has a cover song to end it called Clap Hands, which was originally by Tom Waits in 1985.
Okay.
I didn't know what that was at first. I thought it was just like an outside cut. And then I saw the copyright said 1985. I'm like, wait a minute. And I looked it up. I'm like, no, this is technically like a cover song. But like with the interviews and stuff that I listened to, he was like talking about kind of Evangeline sort of represents creativity, and then the machine is like social media, the current state of like society and the music industry, and how we're all just kind of like stuck in a machine and stuff. And the fan club has like, there was this video, like kind of, I don't know, short film-esque type thing that went along with the album that I watched like the night it came out, and it's a lot of sketches of a storyline, and also the vinyl came with one of those sketches.
Oh, nice.
Or I guess probably a copy of one, but still, yeah. I was like, what is this? When it like came out of the vinyl, I'm like, okay, cool. But basically the storyline that kind of plays out is like there's these guys in these weird like almost hazmat suits, and there's the machines and stuff, and you notice like the river drying up and everything just kind of like dying off. And then there's Evangeline, and like wherever she walks there's flowers sprouting behind her. She gets in a car, there's flowers when the car drives by and stuff. And she has this like, I couldn't remember what it was called, or if you had the name for it, of when we were talking about like history recorded music of, is it phonograph? The like first like recording machine. It looks like a vinyl, but it has like these little like grooves in it, but not like normal like regular day vinyl grooves. Like you can see the individual things that are the notes, and she's carrying that around. And then she goes to where the machine is, and one of the hazmat suit guys helps her like turn the lever, and they put it in, and then the water's back and all this stuff. So I was like, ooh, I like that. Like creativity has saved the day.
Gotcha. And every time you said Evangeline, I just thought of Princess and the Frog.
Okay.
Because
the
star. It's the star. For Ray.
Yeah. There's actually like a little clip that they had for like a teaser before the album came out of him like playing one of those things. I wish I could think of the name of the vintage vinyl, I guess, whatever you want to call it, but it sounded cool.
I don't know what that is. It looks like a symbol, honestly.
Yeah, it looks like a symbol, like coloring wise, and like, I mean, it's a circle, but I Googled for a while trying to figure it out. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to find anything, because I couldn't. I tried for a while and didn't find anything, but cohesive sound, like very smooth transitions throughout from song to song and all that. And it's definitely different, but I like that he is trying to push boundaries and trying to find different ways to be creative, because it was... What was he? There's like a podcast version of what he was on. Sunday Sit Down with Willie Geist from the Today Show. And he was like, I could write number one songs all the time and just put out that. Like, I could just do that all the time if that's what I was like wanting to do. But like creativity is more important kind of idea of like, I'd rather be experimental and do stuff I'm passionate about instead of just like spitting things out.
He's in the point of his career that he can. Like, he has people that are going to continually buy, and it doesn't, like, he's not reliant as much on like specific incomes in that nature, that like he can do that. So I'm sure like a lot of his income comes from other places at this point, that he can just like make the music that he wants to do.
And he has like enough, like, loyal fan base wise, yeah, of, like, he doesn't need the awards or the number ones to build his fan base enough to the point where he can, like, survive and make a living on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that came out Friday. I saw, I guess this will transition into a little bit of what you did this weekend. Of they had like a headbangers thing in the neon steeple that was like tied to the Metallica concert, and he showed up there and like introduced, I don't remember which members, but there was like 2 members of Metallica that came and did a little Q&A. And then I saw a video of him just like sitting at the bar on the main floor signing vinyl. Like, it didn't even seem like people were like coming up to him or anything. He's just chilling and signed a vinyl. And I was like, okay, cool. Just chilling in your own Chiefs merch, like sitting there at the bar. Lizzie Hale and I don't know which other member, but it was like her and I don't know the guitar players' names. I know Lizzie Hale and I know RJ Hale because they're siblings and RJ's the drummer. So whoever the guitarist is for Hailstorm, her and him sang at the Headbangers thing too. Oh, okay. So yeah. So but you did Metallica this weekend for
Well, yeah, but that wasn't what I was really interested in. Well, no, because I didn't actually get to photograph Metallica, so I was kind of bummed out about that. It's fine, it's whatever.
Okay.
But I went to River Beat Festival on Friday in between the shows. So
Metallica Thursday and Saturday for
Friday,
some reason.
I went to Memphis to do River Beat, and then Saturday came back and did the second Metallica show, which was they had a severe thunderstorm right before the band went on stage. So we all went back.
I saw some footage.
I was like, oh God. And then after that happened, there was like people could like stand kind of in the back, which I thought you could just do that because I saw people doing it on Thursday night too. Mm-hmm. But then security was like, y'all got to go back to your seats now. Mm-hmm. But at that point it was so cold. And I had watched like half the show already standing there that I was like, I'm done. I'm going home. Like, can't do this anymore. It's cold. It's wet. I don't want to do this. I already watched Thursday's show, which Saturday's show was better than Thursday's show, unfortunately. So, like, in that respect, I wished I would have stayed. But I was like, I already did 2 nights of, like, this is, like, at the 3rd night in a row. Like, I'm kind of like, okay, I need to wrap it up, go home. Like, I'm tired. I had a bunch of stuff to do on Sunday, too. So I was just like, I'm done. I want to go get sleep. But Friday night, I went to River Beat, and I mainly went for, like, the top 3 acts that were performing that night. So it started out with Busta Rhymes. Okay. He was 20 minutes late to his set and only played for 20 minutes. Oh. That was one 50-year-old dude. I did not need dry reading that much, you know? But he was fine. He was entertaining. It was good. Look at Me Now, of course, had me going, and I was like, yes, love and life. That's all I wanted to hear. I was like, I don't care about the rest of the show. Him rapping Look at Me Now was all I needed. Okay. Life was complete, right? And then this was like my headliner of the night was Ludacris, because all my high school dreams came true. I was loving life. Okay. Even though he was a little before my time. But they played at every school dance. Don't you even deny it. So, yes, I rapped along to Ludacris because I know too much of his discography. I loved it. It was amazing. He was amazing. He was a great performer. He said, they told me to get off the stage 5 minutes ago. I'm going to keep playing. I said, yes, thank you. Mm-hmm. He played for as long as he wanted to play, and then he got on a plane and left. Okay. I said, cool. And then Missy Elliott I knew it was going to be good, but, like, surprisingly, the best performer I have seen in a long time, honestly. Okay. Like, top-notch craftsmanship of, like, a performer. Mm-hmm. And I hope it gets talked about because she was so good. She had this whole, like, theme around it. Like, you didn't even have to know any of her songs. I did. I knew a couple of her songs because I'm cool like that, you know. But, like, you didn't have to know any of them to think that, wow, that was a show. And I heard so many people like that in the crowd, you know. So she came out and it was like this, you were in a spaceship going to another planet. It was like planet whatever went along with, like, her show, you know, like Planet Weird or whatever it was. It was something like that. Okay. And there was 3 different acts to the show. So the first act was very spacey. All of her backup dancers were in like astronaut silver kind of suits, like the MTV, you know, kind of look. She was in like a very like had like glasses on, like helmets, like very spacey, and it was cool. So also her dancers were incredible. Like I haven't seen those kinds of backup dancers in a while either. Like those were good backup dancers. I was like, okay, yes. Then she went to like, it was the dancer started off tap dancing to Singing in the Rain, which was so cool and so good, and he was incredible, and he like did this whole thing, and then you were like in a cornfield, like alien abduction kind of thing, right? And then the final act was like all her big hits, right? So it was like, is it worth it? Let me work it. That one, and like Get Your Freak On and all that stuff, you know? And it was like very like streets of like the planet that you were on, a lot of graffiti everywhere. And it was like your final destination to planet whatever, and like you landed, and it was like all very neon and very bright and fun and pink, and it was so cool. So I was just like, it was just like, and then it had a drone show, but the drone show was accidentally too low and was behind the stage, so you had to like go around to the river and like then you could watch it. And they were weird. Like, shit, we messed up there.
Oh no.
But it was overall really good. So it was just cool, and it was just something that I just really wanted to talk about, because I was like, talk about like showmanship. Like that is how you do that. And I had high expectations for some of these performers at festivals, because, you know, you put a lot of work into festivals. Festivals are like mini halftime performances, because you can't do the same festival most of the times, like twice in a row. You have to change it up each time. Like they're like many little things, especially when you're headlining like that. So like, and I'll be honest, I've seen some that I was disappointed with. No, these were, Ludacris was like, yes. And then she was like, yes. And I had the best popsicle there too.
Okay.
It was just a good popsicle. There was really nothing weird about that, but it was just a good popsicle. It was orange vanilla, and I was enjoying while I was dancing, and I was like, yes, living my life.
Orange vanilla?
Yeah, it was really good.
Is it Baron's?
It's called Dreamsicle.
Oh, it's just Dreamsicle, not Orange Dreamsicle.
Yes, I'm excited for that. That comes out this week too.
She has like a listening thing, but it's like one of those where you meet at a parking lot, and then they like take you to the location, like Taylor's Secret Sessions used to be or whatever. At least I've read, because I've never been to one, but it's like you have to be they're like leaving the parking lot at 4:00 on whatever day it is, and it's like a weekday. I'm like, well, I'm off at 5, so that's not gonna work for me, so I can't sign up, but it's fine. She's doing something, she's going to some record shop on the 17th and like signing, and there's like King of Pop popsicles stuff there, but you're at Sand in My Boots that weekend.
Yeah, that's right. I know so much is happening on the 17th now, because there's also like some work stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna be on the beach. I'm gonna be on the beach. It'll be fine. I'm going to enjoy and love life. Speaking of other tour related things that have happened, I just figured we could just close off today's episode with talking about Beyonce and Katy Perry's tours. Very separately, they are in no way related at all. They were the 2 big tours that have happened so far. And let's just talk Katy Perry's real fast, just to, because here's my thing with it. I had some people, and I thought it was you, maybe it wasn't you.
No.
But I had a friend that I was very surprised wanted to go see it. And I was like,
I didn't even know she had.
But I'm like, oh, I wasn't expecting you to want to go to this tour. And everyone online is like, oh my God, it's like the Eras tour, and they're freaking out. And I'm like, hold up. Why are we surprised that it failed? Because honestly, I looked at this tour and was like, she just did this in Vegas for the past 2 years or whatever. Yeah. She already did the Lifetime tour. It was in Vegas. If you didn't go to Vegas, you missed out. Sorry. This is such a ripoff of everything else, and she's just trying to be relevant. The only new music she put out was The Woman's World, and guess what? It flopped. It wasn't good. So the fact that everyone's surprised now that they're upset with their performance, and I'm just like, but why did you think it was going to be good in the first place? Like, honestly. And that's no shade to Katy Perry. Well, a little bit. But, like, I genuinely loved Katy Perry Teenage Dream era. Me and my mom had a crying, very emotional time in the theater watching her movie. Mm-hmm. Like, we genuinely loved her at that point in our lives. Loved the third album, honestly. It's very underrated. And I was like, oh my gosh, because she showed us her relationship with Russell Brand and how, like, abusive relationships can, like, fester. And then her healing journey in that album was so good. And I didn't like the hate on Roar like everyone else liked to hate on that song.
There was hate?
Yeah, I heard a lot of hate on it. Okay. But I loved it. I didn't know that. And then she fucking lost her mind, and unfortunately, and I think she just needed therapy. I think she is the biggest component of, like, the trend right now on TikTok that's like, I probably needed a hug but got shoved out on stage instead. That was her, and I think she just didn't surround herself with the right kind of people at that point in her life, which is no shade to anyone, just I think she just didn't have the right support system around her at that point in her life, because she just hit a breaking point and needed to be therapized. That's the word, therapized, and did not do that, and instead she is where she is now, which is Delulu, and hasn't made good music. Well, okay, here's the thing though. I will say, the Daisies and all of that album, whatever that little one is, was kind of a little resurgence of, like, oh, maybe actually she does have some good music left in her, and then she just ruined it. So
I just know she had a daisy up in the rocket ship,
which
or something.
I think was to represent her daughter. I think people are, like, making it this big deal because her daughter's name is Daisy. Because she has the song, like, called Daisy, and then she named her daughter Daisy, and I think that's why she had the flower.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I mean, like, you could say whatever you want about the need to do all that stuff and whatever, but I think I don't want to take away the fact of, like, some of, like, the stories of, like, that woman who that was her only dream was to go into space, and some of those things that were, I think, a little bit, like, different. So I'm trying to, like, separate that, and everyone's already made so much fun of it that I don't think we need to give it the time of day as well anymore. I think it is what it is, and just kind of move on from that. But any thoughts on the Katy Perry tour?
I only know what I see on TikTok, and it's, like, they'll do side-by-sides or, like, go back and forth, if not, like, both on the screen at the same time, of, like, Eras Tour and Lifeline's tour. Also, the names are very similar. But also, I'm pretty sure it's not even just Eras Tour. It's, like, she has, like, a spin the bottle thing, like Sabrina.
Like Sabrina's. I was gonna say, some things is, like, okay, I can see, like,
she'll do stuff like acrobatic, like Pink, I guess.
The fire shooting and, like, the way she throws her guitar pick and little acoustic sets and stuff. I don't want to say she just completely ripped off Taylor for, like, some of the stuff. Think
because guitar pick throwing's just common.
That's a very, like, okay, we're trying to look for things. Like, okay, yeah. And then, like, having an acoustic set. I mean, every artist has some kind of acoustic set, really. I mean, Kelsey Ballerini did it too. Like, I think that's just something that, like, people look to Taylor because of the nature of her performances.
I think it's just because hers is so, like, it's not always, like, the most looked forward to part of sets, except Taylor's, because Taylor's is just because you don't know what songs you're getting since it changes. But, like, I know that that's a thing a lot of people have, where it's, like, the ballads or something, they want to do a stripped down version, and it's the same song every single night, but it's an acoustic set.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, but Kelsey did a different song every night for her acoustic.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
I think of, like, Blake Shelton. I think he does Austin and something else. He'll do acoustic in the middle. And
like Ian's did an acoustic set, but it was probably the same thing. So, like, I get doing an acoustic set. Like, that part wasn't weird. What I will say was very clearly, like, there's no way you didn't know was...
Laptop case is broken, and I just noticed it because I felt it. I was like, what is that?
So, what I will say, though, is doing the arabesque aerial stunts is very much like, okay, that's very iconically Pink.
Yeah.
And doing the spin the bottle thing, I was
that's very much
Sabrina. There was so many other ways you could have done something like that. Yeah. You literally did the exact same thing as Sabrina Carpenter there. Like, and again, like, you know, having certain elements in your shows, and, like, you know, plenty of people use pyro and all of that stuff. Like, there's some things, like, I can kind of see, okay, you're trying to make it a problem when I don't think there was a problem, but, like, those two things were just, like, Yeah, I'm finding a lot of, how do you get around that?
Yeah.
And it's not like she's not creative, because even if you didn't like it, her whole Vegas set was all like big things that weren't supposed to be big, like you shrunk down to a toy size and like a bathroom and stuff like that. Like that was cutesy and artsy, at least. Like it was something.
It's something.
That's why I'm saying, like, there's no need for this tour in the first place.
Yeah.
Because she already did the campy big thing.
Yeah.
This just doesn't make any sense. And she didn't have enough lifetimes. I'm sorry, but like, to be honest, the reason somebody like a Taylor Swift can get away with something like that is because she has 11 albums worth of music to release. Right. Katy Perry has like 6 albums. She doesn't have a lifetime of music.
Is it 6?
I don't know. But it's lower than 11. I can tell you that.
Well, yeah, because Taylor's been putting out albums like crazy. Yeah.
But it's also, she's never done anything like that. Katy Perry just did this for a whole year is what I'm trying to, like, it made no sense to me.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not Katy Perry. My brain went to, someone was like, theoretically, like, Taylor has kind of, like, created, like, a genius plan with the Eras Tour and stuff of, like, if she wanted to, like, obviously take this break, like, take time, but she could do another one and have it be completely different songs for each era and like completely different visuals and dances, and everything could be different, and it's just like a second Eras Tour with different songs.
The problem with doing that though is she put all the
major hits are already
it. So it's like, if you're gonna do that, then why didn't you? Yeah. So I think it's time for us to move from the eras and do something different, Taylor. I think it's time to like create a new storyline here.
It is 2 years since night 1 of Nashville today, though.
I saw that, yeah.
I was like, speak now announcement.
But you know what tour is really good, and I'm like, I love watching all the clips of, is Beyonce's tour.
Okay.
And I wanted to say, the only reason I wanted to bring up her tour today especially was because she got a cease and desist for using the sphere graphic.
Okay.
And
I've
so now
seen
it's a
stuff
stadium.
About it, but I didn't
so basically
read into it.
There's a point in the show where she has this graphic, if you haven't seen it, where she's like really big and she picks up something that looks like the Las Vegas sphere. So everyone assumed maybe that was a hint of her saying she was going to be playing the sphere next. Okay. And like it was going to be like this thing, like, which I was like, okay, I don't know if it was actually like Las Vegas and it was like very noticeably the sphere, or if it just looked like the sphere. Either way, they sent a cease and desist letter that like she can't do that because of copyright infringement and stuff like that. So now it's just like the stadium that she's playing, and like she'll like pick up the stadium that they're in, which is cute too. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But everyone was like, she just gave you free advertising, which I kind of think it was. I mean, let's be honest, I get like the copyright of it to a degree, but also like it's just a sphere. And like the sphere has been like mocked up and done in everything all over the internet already. Like, why do we care at this point? So it's just one of those weird things, which I'm sure has like a very legitimate legal reason as to why they don't want to use it. Like, I get that. But I just also don't get it at the same time. And so, anyway, she changed it. And then, but I've just loved seeing, I think Blue Ivy has just gotten so much better at her performing now that I'm like, okay, wow, her daughter's like really like good, and then her other daughter's like out there like smiling and cheesing, and it's just like she has really cute like daughter moments, and like just I love the like visuals of like she has like these robot arms at times, and like this is like the first time I'm like really jealous I'm not at a Beyonce show. Like I have moments like that, but I just really want to go to the show now, and ticket prices have dropped like crazy.
Oh really?
Apparently. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is she Nashville at some point?
No, I think it's like the big cities, but I think the closest is Atlanta.
Okay.
But it's not Nashville.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I know Megan Maroney has her Am I Okay tour.
Yeah.
I think that's a tour's name too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just keep seeing all the cute outfits, and I'm like, I really like these outfits.
Yeah, my friend is like a really big fan of hers, and she's gone to a couple already.
Yeah, I wish I would have thought to go to Nashville. I just didn't think about it. So, until it was like already happening. People were like coming in, and they were going the night before, or going that night. I'm like, dang it, I forgot this was potentially a thing.
I'm just thinking that Sabrina Carpenter still has more shows, doesn't she?
Yeah, because she's coming back here. I think it's November, and we didn't get tickets. But maybe
at this point, though, I'm kind of like, it's been enough of a break that she probably could have just like not. I know she probably did it just to like continue because people wanted the demand. But at this point, I'm kind of like, we could just move on to what's next. Like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Oh well, it's fine. Short and Sweet tour is no longer as short. I guess it's been drawn out more. I can't think of any other like tour things. I know Eric Church like announced a tour, but that's not starting yet. That's like a fall tour. He's not coming to Nashville, but he's doing the Pinnacle. And I don't know if the Pinnacle will be like an I guess traditional concert, because I think he's just playing the album, but I don't know for sure if there'll be other stuff at all. So it'll be interesting. I'm going to the Friday night show for that on Memorial Day weekend. So. And he has Red Rocks, which will be different type of shows. But the tour is in the fall. So, yeah. But I think that's pretty much it for this one.
We talked for too long.
Every time. It's fine. If you have some new music that you're listening to and want to share, or any tours that you are, or festivals that you're looking forward to attending this summer, then like let us know. Good to hear what other people are excited about music-wise as well. You can send that to the Music Lens Podcast at gmail.com, or you can comment it on this YouTube video or on our socials at the Music Lens Podcast. Be sure to rate and review our episodes and download them. It helps us. That's kind of the main thing I think that helps podcasts, is doing those things, helps the algorithm, and also just sharing it with people. Tell a friend about our podcast. You can pre-save Alex's single if you're listening to this right away. If you're listening to this May 9th or later, you can go stream Alex's single Ego, and follow her at Alex Allegra Music on all the socials, and you can follow me at Katy Fee Music on all the socials. We'll see you next time.
Bye.